Very good afternoon, all of you. It's my pleasure to welcome on the behalf of IWST, Dr. N Bakthavatsalam over here. So, Dr. I just want to give a brief introduction about him. Dr. N Bakthavatsalam holds a doctorate degree in life sciences with specialization in entomology. He has done postdoctoral program at National Center of Biological Sciences, Bangalore on insect olfaction. He has joined the Agriculture Research Services in 1985 and has worked in various capacities such as scientist, senior scientist, principal scientist, head division of insect germplasm conservation and utilization, and director of ICR, National Bureau of Agriculture Insect Resources, Bangalore, before his superannuation in 2021. He has varied experience on the integrated pest management of insect pests of cereals, pulses, oilseeds, and cashew. So with this brief introduction, I would like to request our director in charge, Dr. Shakti Singh Chauhan, to formally welcome our chief guest. Now, I would like to request our director in charge, Dr. Shakti Singh Chauhan, for a welcome address.
A very good afternoon to all those who have joined offline as well as those who have joined online. I think we have quite a large number of audience today who have joined online also, sir. And today being the International Biodiversity Day, I think we are really privileged to have Dr. Bhakthavatsalam, who has a very, very rich experience on working on biodiversity conservation. And see, I would say diversity is always beautiful, isn't it? Wherever we are, if all of us look alike, then the world will not be so beautiful. If all the trees look alike, then we call what we call as a monoculture, and it will never be very fascinating or attractive. So diversity is the need for humans for everything, and I think we in India we are already very rich in diversity. We have quite a few hotspots, biodiversity hotspots in the world, and as I see here, the topic today, human role in biodiversity conservation, I think it is very, very pertinent in today's um, world, because it's not our duty to maintain this diversity, and we also need to enrich this biodiversity for our future generations. Though we are probably not like we work on wood science, and we all know that wood is also a very, very diverse material, whether we talk about colors, whether we talk about density, whether we talk about many other parameters, because it is one of the most versatile materials, only because it is diverse. Uh, because we get wood density ranging from 180 kilogram per cubic meter to 1300 kilogram per cubic meter, and that's why it becomes such a wonderful material. Um, and this diversity has given us this potential to use materials for different purposes. But today, what we are going to listen, I think I won't come in between um, of this topic, what Dr. Bhakthavatsalam will be giving us um, on behalf of IWST, and personally, I extend a very, very warm welcome to Dr. Bhakthavatsalam uh, for being agreeing to come over here and enriching us. I'm sure every one of us will learn from here about biodiversity conservation, and I think it's very attractive. Is it productive? And that has always been a question for people to ask whether the biodiversity conservation, what is the need and where is the need. So I'm sure It will be a really enlightening for all of us. So once again, from Institute, sir, I welcome you for this on this important day of International celebrating it today here. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for welcome address. And in fact, as sir told that biodiversity is very
ಅಲ್ಲ
important.
ಅಡ್ಮಿನ್ ಅನ್ನೋರೆಲ್ಲ ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೂ ಜಾಯ್ನ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ.
And most of us over here, they are mainly working in the aspect of wood processing and technology. So we have just very broad idea about the concept, and we are eager to learn more about how we can relate with our what we are doing. Okay, because in broad context, it is very conflicting for a lay audience. Like one side is a Institute of Wood Utilization, which promote utilization of wood, and common notion is that we are destroying biodiversity or forestry by taking the wood. But in fact, these days, what we are doing that we are focusing more, even industry also, most of they are focusing their raw material from outside forest. So from agroforestry, from bamboo, or from other residues. So indirectly, we are contributing that we are just creating a buffer, that we are not touching the natural resources. We are more relying on tree outside forest or other renewable material which is growing outside forests. So with this, now I'd like to request our chief guest to please enlighten us on this topic.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's working. Huh? Greetings to all of you on the World Biodiversity Day. Actually, I am not from forests, but I am from agriculture field. I am a agriculture scientist, put in more than 36 years, and my role was mostly on the biodiversity of insects and their conservation, especially the beneficial insects. But again, it's an excellent opportunity given to me to find out where we stand and what we have done, whether we have made remedies for that. So that's only when somebody, Dr. Manoj asked, I proposed this title. We will just have a discussion. So rather than telling us a lecture, so that is the thing always. I have a kind of specialization in putting questions. So again, we will see and we will tread through the presentation and find out the solution, whether it is productive or detrimental. Of course, people may not be interested in this. Of course, we have students. For them, I was just interested in to know who coined the term biological diversity. Then first is Dr. Arthur Harness in 1916. It's almost 100 years before he coined the term in his book on variable desert. Then again in 67, again it was reiterated that the term biodiversity will be used till 1980 when Dr. Thomas Lovejoy used biological diversity instead of using biodiversity. So this is the nomenclature, how it came. And again, the identification definition, we have so many definitions. So one definition which I liked very much is the totality of genes, species, and ecosystems of a region. So we call it as a biological diversity. So, so if you go that, then again the conservation comes. Who just thought how to conserve and who thought that we have to conserve? Then again, in the conservation biology was the first topic in the first international conference research on conservation biology by Dr. Bruce Wilcox. He was the first one started terming the conservation biology. After that, it went to different uh, nomenclatures. Now we are telling about the conservation. So the need for conservation was coined by this group meeting. And again, that is the starting point. I always say, what is the starting point of our all your uh, audio, like radio? It is the common radio. I don't know. You may not be. You have not seen it. It will be almost this much like when we were all young students. From that, the simple transistor came, which made this much big radio to this much big. That is the starting point. Similarly, if you say the invention of wheel is a starting point for movement, like that, the idea of conservation, this is the starting point for our all the future programs. It is almost like 50 years, almost like 45 years old. From that time only, we started thinking of conservation, and from that, it starts going on with various programs and other things. This I want to put about that Harikomban. This is the elephant. I think most of you may be aware of this. This Hari in Kerala means rice. This Komban is the tusker. See, this is the wild elephant. Started moving near the Munnar area, and it has an habit of going and hunting for rice in the ration shops. In that process, it will break whatever the wall, everything is there, and it will go into that. And sometimes it has also trampled people to death. And the government of Kerala wanted to keep it in captivity. Of course, it went to High Court because so many voluntary groups, NGOs, they were fighting against that. They said it should not be in captivity. It should be set free. Then the High Court of Kerala appointed a committee which suggested that she should be relocated to a different place. Then again, the court went up to Supreme Court. Supreme Court said, since the committee has been given and committee has given the recommendations, you will not interfere in that. So whatever the committee recommendations, you follow. So finally, this elephant, I think almost 10 days back, it is translocated to a Parambikulam area it's on the border of Tamil Nadu. And still it is there. And about 2-3 days back also, it just went and attacked on ration shop and took, of course, he didn't take rice, he just attacked. Maybe it's because of habit. Why I am telling is the man-wildlife conflict. So how it has started. And if you see the worldwide, the death by elephants is hardly 500 per annum, not more than 500. But if you see the homicide cases 1.5 lakhs in a year. But the media projects this as something like a big villain, and again it goes like that. But actually, we have gone into his house and we are telling, don't come to my house. That is the reason. So of course, this is an animal actually. So, so these kind of conflicts have come because we have entered into his house. I always suggest all of you, if you have time, to see 4 series on documentary on secret life of elephants. It's an excellent movie, excellent documentary produced by some international company. It covers even Indian elephants. Excellent. So you have to see why. Then if you see that, then you will support Arikumpan, because elephants have the habit of going for food, water, and even salt. They move almost like 50 kilometers per day. So in that process, all the elephant corridors have been in their memory. It is passed on generations. So it will search to that place where it has been going in generation. It wants to go, but suddenly we find a wall. So it happens like this. So this is the main reason for wildlife conflict. So this just I want to give it. Of course, India, the global biodiversity, we don't have any neighboring planet. So we are the only planet as far as we know, though we say aliens are there and other things. But now, as on now, we have our diversity, which is almost like 16.25 lakhs. 25 lakhs, 16.25 lakhs of animals we have. Animals includes everything. And again, majority is arthropods, which is almost like 12 lakhs. And if you see the same thing in India, it is something like 13 lakhs or something like that. And we have almost 7% of the world diversity in India. That's only India is one of the mega biodiversity countries, one of the 17 mega biodiversity countries. We have almost like 4 to 5 hotspots areas in India, which has excellent uh, uh, diversity, including amphibians, reptiles, everything. And how we are damaging that is the thing which we are talking about. So already, if you see the earlier history of the planet, we had 5 mass destructions. Most of them are through natural causes. Most of them are by meteor or like that. And the fifth was the one which happened in 65 million, 66 million years ago by the asteroid strike, which eliminated the full dinosaur diversity. Along with that, it took 70% of diversity. Only the smaller ones, smaller animals escaped, including maybe that time we were not existing. So all the smaller animals escaped, all the bigger animals gone. But this is the sixth mass destruction we are seeing now. So this article has come a day before yesterday. So here he says insects, if you compare it with the basic data of 2017, in 2022, we have lost almost like 22%, 270% of insects have been lost compared to 2007. And mollusks almost like 146%, and fishes almost like 185%, and reptiles are almost like I can't see 136%. And mammals are very less. Mammals are hardly 22% because awareness has been created on the conservation of wildlife. Wildlife always is considered to be the mammals, elephant, tiger, like that. So their conservation is, their diversity loss is very less compared to other insects. So the question is, we talk about the mammals only, which is already under protection. What about other groups? So we may have to think it, because mammals awareness has been created. NGOs are working, they are working on how to stop the shark fishing, all the things are working on how to stop the poaching. Everything is going on at the global level. But here, the other things, other groups, we have to concentrate on that. So this is the question is whether we are going to be, it says 99% of diversity loss is by humans interference only. It is not by any natural calamities. So if you see like that, this is the species which are threatened by this one. Amphibians, it's almost 41 species. Mammals is 21, and like that. It's a full list we have, and you can see how much species are threatened. And this is life uh, here. Here we say almost 66% of our diversity is under decline. That picture shows, and that it is showing that almost 66, 69% of life is being threatened. So here, if you see, a scale is given, 0 is almost gone. So 1 is a healthy scale. So they have given to all the groups. So how the decline is going on. So wherever we see starting with the top and going down, it is declining. Wherever it is in the straight line, it is almost same like that. So if you see the corals, I think corals, corals is the one which is declining fast. All other groups, it is little bit of decline is there, but not to that extent. But corals are the one which is declining very fast. So this is again the index and the biodiversity index. Of course, I'm not going into the detail here. It says wherever you see very dark colors, that says the index is very good. Wherever you see light colors, that says the index is going down. So if you see different countries, it is there, but of course India, it is going down. You can see it is a light color. but most of the areas it is dark color. That means the indicators are very good. No, black also is dark color. So here, black is more rich. So here, if you see, 100 is black. Yes. Yeah, here. Yes, yes. No, sometimes you know what they don't have, it is like that reflected. Uh, most of you may be aware of IUCN classification of red list. There they have a range which starts with the not evaluated and it goes to data deficient and the least concern. That means we need not bother about it. So the last one is extinct. That means you don't see any single animal. Little above you see extinct in the wild, means it is not in the forest, but still it is available in some captivity. Say like for example, your lemur and other things which are not gone, but still it is existing. And critically endangered means almost 80% gone. Maybe we are left out with 20%. Endangered we can say 40 to 50%. Vulnerable is, it is at present it is not there, but likely to become a serious threat. And of course, near threat and all things are not of much concern to us. So this is the degree they are giving. Based on that degree only, they have given for all the plants, crustacean, amphibians, everything they have given. I'm just giving for a few. And here, if you see, 6 plant species are already gone, extinct, and 77 species are critically endangered, and 2 are extinct in the wild. That means it is available in some conservatory, but not. So this is the extinct species. Some I have already given. So this is, if you see, only 15 to 20 plants are available. Of course, this data is mostly for India. So this is available only in some places. And again, this Dipterocarpus, it's only 14 plants available in Kudagu in Karnataka. So all the other places it has gone. So you have to think where we have come here. And of course, diversity loss is not only for wildlife or forestry, it is also for agriculture. If we see 70%, 75% of our genetic diversity is lost because of monoculture, all the things are there, because we don't want any local varieties. It is going on. And this, again, our livestock, we have lost almost 30% is at the risk of extinction, and 6 breeds are lost each month. So this is the way we are losing our local breeds. So just imagine, in a few years, what we will be having. We will have all GM crops or biotech cotton or biotech rice, but not our own traditional varieties. So we always say in all the temples, in especially in southern regions, we used to have a place called Kumbham. That is the metal one. Actually, that is used for the preservation of seeds. It seems the seeds can be preserved for 12 years without any loss. So they used to fill it up and keep it, and every 12 years they used to remove it, clean it, again fill it up. Of course, finally it has become a regular routine procedure to make what we call it as Kumbhabhisheka. Kumbhabhisheka means pour water into that. But actually it is meant for that. And there is so much discussion is going on how to retrieve that kind of seeds which are already available in that kumbhas. So that is the way our traditional knowledge which our people had, and they have preserved it. But still we are losing that. We don't have anything in that. And again, 70% of world food is generated only from 12 plants and 5 animal species. So why I am telling is, after a few years, maybe after 25 years, only these 12 plants and 5 animals will live, because whatever we want, we will keep it. Chicken, fish, mutton, all the other things we say bye-bye. So again, 4% of 2.5 lakhs and 3 lakh known edible plant species, only 150 are used by humans. 150 to 200. All the others are whatever we don't want, we don't care. So let it go like that. So only the three cereals, rice, maize, and wheat contribute 60% of calories to us. And again, 30% of human requirement food and agriculture and 12% of world's population live most entirely on products for ruminants. Ruminants means all milk products, everything we get. So this is the other things we are not bothered. That is the thing we are trying to emphasize. So what about the 20? We are only in the 25% we are living, 75% we are losing. So again, if you see the reptile, I'm just giving, I'm not going into the detail. So here also we have the classification. So we say some are already gone, extinct, some are critically endangered, some are 15 species are endangered, 14 species are nearly threatened, and 30 species are vulnerable in case of reptiles. Again, in the mammals, 9 species are critically endangered, 15 species are endangered, 42 species are almost nearly threatened, and 38 are vulnerable. And birds also, we have almost 17 are truly critically endangered, and again 82 species are nearly threatened, and vulnerable is 62 species. Of course, the insects also come into that. So if you see, almost 185 are critically endangered. One species are already extinct in wild. That means it is available in some conservations. And again, 343 are endangered, and 608 are vulnerable, and 301 are like that. So what are the causes for the biodiversity? Already I have told you, natural calamities, changes in land use, because natural calamities naturally. Other things are only what we have created. So that is the thing which is more we are bothered about. So again, I told you 66 million years a meteoroid or asteroid struck the world, and of course 70% of the world is lost. And again, there are some people say that dinosaurs extinct before this itself. With them papers available, they are telling that dinosaurs are not killed by asteroids. Before that, it started declining. So that of course this is a controversy. And again, fire. The recent fire in Australia. So there it is almost 26 million is lost, 20 people killed, and more than 1 billion animals died. I think it is in 2019. And again, if you see the forest, the hardy chlorophyll forests such as eucalyptus, it survives, it regenerates. But the softwoods, the other woods gone, it doesn't come back. And again, the problem is the animals with low fecundity. It gives 1 or 2 progeny per litter. They are all gone. So that is the problem we are facing. And again, after the fire, we have problem of they start moving out, or diversity and ecosystem function is also become too extinct. And sad part is several insects or animals, especially the arthropods, before their description, taxonomic description itself, they are lost. That's a very sad part in this kind of flood situation. Flooding also is very important. Of course, I have figure. These are the things which happens to loss of food, migration, soil erosion, and of course, some people say it is also for positive. And one case study which I am having is Kaziranga. So here you can see the total animals is almost like 168 animals or so are killed due to 1998 flood. Of course, that was very severe flood. After that, we have not much of calamity. But and earthquake, it's also it is largely affecting the microarthropods in water body. And alpine grass is one of the grasses which are badly affected by earthquake. And climate change, of course, this is also man-made only. So I was working on climate change on the insects communities. So when we started in 2010, the atmospheric carbon dioxide was 380. Can you tell how much is now? 420. That means in 10 years or 15 years, we have contributed to almost like 10%. So that is the reason which we are facing now. Suddenly there was a cyclone last week in Moha. Usually we don't get cyclones in May, but that was probably because when we were working on that, we used to think only the temperature is going to increase, then the Arctic will melt and the water level will increase like that. But we never anticipated that uneventful events. It's something like sudden floods, sudden drought, all the things are happening mainly because of our climate change. So this also has a cascading effect on our biodiversity. All coral reef, they also feed on the colorful algae, it seems. That algae vanished in the marine ecosystem. And of course, insect communities, we don't have much data on how much it has affected. I mean, we have much data on that because so many, almost like 75% of diversity we have lost. So many beetles, of course, I didn't go to that list, which is already available. And mainly because of loss of habitat, loss of host plants, loss synchronization of flowering and the pollinator. Those kind of things greatly affect the biodiversity of insects. And of course, I always say that colder regions, we don't have much insects like mosquito and other things. But when the climate change happens, when the temperature increases, I think the insects also will migrate to colder regions because of the differences in temperatures. And another thing is invasive pests are going to establish because invasive pests, when they are in their own place, they don't have much effect. But when they migrate to other places, if the conditions are favorable, their reproductive capacity is very high, and they manifest in such a high trend. They are better than our traditional insects. So that is very big cause when we think about climate change. Again, deforestation, we have already lost almost like 440 million hectare, and 110 million hectares we have lost on the natural causes like forest fire. And tigers are the most sad animals because they lost almost 95% of their land to our man-made causes. And again, in countries like Latin America, Asia, and Africa, they convert the land for oil palm cultivation. What happens is suddenly you have the oil palm, and in between both two forests, there is a fragmentation. So the animals are unable to move, unable to thrive in that kind of places. So that causes orangutans, elephants, tigers, rhinos, they are highly affected. And I think that is also covered in that movie I told about the secrets of elephant. Like they have given about how the oil palm plantations in Indonesia and Malaysia is affecting the elephants. And lemur and these are almost like lost. So these two, lemur and mouse are almost like lost in the other places. And hunting and poaching, I think you are all aware of that. So this picture goes where the highest degree of hunting is going. I think that is dark is highest, and you can see Maharashtra and even Northeast. And what are the things which are seized parts? This is from the seizures. Everything is there. Nail, tiger tooth, tiger, everything is there. Tusk, everything. For everything, this is from Indian only I am giving it. So you can see how much we are causing harm. And of course, this is the poaching is the trade which is worth more than almost like $23 billion annually. Two ranges we are losing every week because of to the poachers. And fishermen kill almost like 100 million sharks for the fins. So in Africa, thousands of endangered animals are killed. Every 12 hours, one rhino is being killed. Rhino is sold almost like $15,000. So elephants are 5,000 elephants are started in Botswana so far. Every year, almost every day, 96 elephants, African elephants die. There are almost 30,000 green turtles are poached in Mexico. So this is the sad thing, which if you see, you will feel very sad how the animals are killed just for poaching. So this is the various uh, human activities, how they have contributed to the biodiversity loss, and this is everything is given. So you can see how it is badly affecting our. This is mainly our farm operations. So what are the initiatives government made? So if you see who identified that we have to conserve the diversity, then it started with the organizations. There are almost like 40, 50 organizations which are involved in the biodiversity documentation, conservation, everything they are doing it. So this just a list I am giving it. You can find out how they are contributing, because time is a problem for us. And there are so many conventions held before that. There is Convention of Biological Diversity, Consultative Group for International Agriculture Research. Of course, this Convention of Biological Diversity and IARI, the CGIAR has started different institutions. One of our institutions in Hyderabad, ICRISAT, belongs to them, and they have one on maize. And of course, they have so many institutions. And again, this convention on conservation of migratory species, all the conventions are the things which they have discussed and started a kind of roadmap for the conservation of all the biodiversity. So again, government has brought out different acts: Wildlife Protection Act, Wetland Protection Act, National Plan for Conservation of Aquatic Ecosystem, Wildlife Crime Control Bureau, and ban on diclofenac. This is very important. So when we found out that all the vultures, when they feed on the carcass with the diclofenac, they are killed. So they have banned it, and they have brought it as a kind of ordinance. So the diclofenac is banned for treating the animals, especially the farm animals, so that the vultures are not killed. So those kind of initiatives have been taken, and again, vulture breeding programs have been started in Himachal and other places. Recovery, the government also has included recovery of endangered species, and already 16 species have been identified. Then financial help is given to Project Elephant, Project Tiger, and integrated development of wildlife habitats. CBA has been empowered to apprehend and prosecute wildlife poachers. If somebody is doing poaching, CBA is empowered. So these are the things, and of course, government has established 102 national parks, 515 sanctuaries, and 47 conservation reserves, 4 community reserves, and 15 biosphere reserves, Ramsar sites, that is the wetland sites, 27, which is almost like 6,200 kilometers, 34 mangroves, 34 zoos, 28 aquariums, and botanical garden. All these are the government effect started from say 73. They have started this. There are so many acts which are very important acts, which is right starting from 1897. The recent one is the Biodiversity Act in 2002 and again 2004. The rules have been framed, and all this as giving more truth to the biodiversity conservation. So these are already has been implemented effectively by the government, especially for the most of these are coming under the MOEF only. So they are doing very excellent work on that. So the repository also they have created. Of course, we are proud to say ICR has 6 repository under this. What you see as NBPGR, but ICFRE, of course, that is US. Then National Bureau of Animal Genetic Resources, Fish Genetic Resources, then NBAIM, it's in Mao, then NBAIR, which is in Bangalore. So all these things they have created to maintain the germplasm. So it is being done, and they are doing very good. So what is the progress till now on this kind of projects? So just have a look on that. Project Elephant already I told. So they have almost now we have in India 27,000 Asian elephants. Of course, the census is going on now. We will get it is on, I think, 2022 figure. So we will get the recent figures no soon. So almost 27,000 elephants are there out of 50,000. It's almost like 60% of elephant population in the world is with us. And again, they are bringing Gaj Yatra awareness campaigns. And Gaj Suchana, they have made a mobile application to the forest official. And again, Supreme Court has brought out the right of the elephants passage. It's very important because as I was telling about elephant corridors, you can't construct a house and say this is my house. Then somebody, the MOEF, if it goes to the court, then you lose your house. It's very important because they have told they have the right. Then the mahouts and their families are trained on the welfare of elephants. Gaj Utsav is being conducted wherever possible. They bring the elephants and give. Then there is one alliance they brought it called Asian Elephant Alliance. Through that, they made a kind of dissemination of information. So in Project Tiger, we have 9 tigers in area 73. Now we have 53 tiger reserves and 3,167. I think last month only our Honorable PM came here and gave that, released that report. It says we have 3,167 tigers in India, and Karnataka has, Madhya Pradesh has the highest, and second highest is Karnataka. And we have 70% of world tiger population. Then Gir Lion also is there, which is started in 50 in 1900. It is now 400 today. And the project Gir Lion is a special project because there the humans as well as the animals coexist. So there is forest area also humans are allowed to stay. And again, afforestation, I think I have to congratulate the Ministry of Forests because this is in comparison with 2019, 2021, we have got almost like 80.59 million hectares, and 24% of our geographical area is under forest, and we have an increase of 2,200 square kilometer compared to 2019, and again we have 17 square kilometer increase in the mangrove forest. I think this is a stupendous effort by the Ministry of Environment and Forest. So what happens to the marine diversity? Because that is also very important. They have brought out the Wildlife Protection Act of India, and again, National Committee on Mangroves have been formed, and which is given the recommendations for the maintenance of wetlands. And again, coastal regulation zone notification came, and this prohibits development of activities and disposal of waste in the coastal area. You cannot have a house in the side of the beach because I think the regulation is almost 500 meters are away. You have to consent. You cannot go on near. So Biodiversity Act has come. This already I have mentioned about it. This is to protect not only our plant varieties, also for all the biological resources, including our fishes. And Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sambardha Yojana, PMMSI, this is one, which is for the development of fishery sectors, and objectives are very clear: harnessing fisheries potential in a sustainable, responsible, inclusive, and equitable manner, and robust fisheries management and regulatory framework. So you can see in the newspapers it is coming that fisheries is banned for some time in the coastal area. And of course, the fishermen are compensated; they are paid some allowance. Those kind of things have been formed. And again, Center for Marine Living Resources, an extensive knowledge base on the biodiversity is already developed. It is doing their work. And there are other projects which is on crocodile, vulture, turtle, angle, and again Himalayan snow leopard. All these projects are going on. Of course, I didn't have much information on that. Then agro biodiversity conservation also is very important. There are community seed banks where you can deposit your seeds. Already I told about Kumbhana, but there are some even NGOs who are doing that job. So you can deposit the seeds whenever you want. You can take back. And again, say to conservation, you can do it in your kitchen gardens or community gardens. ex situ conservation we can also in the seed repositories. And of course, this you may be aware of this. This is called Protection of Plant Variety and Farmers Right Authority. It is something like our patent office. So if you have any seeds, which is a traditional one, you can deposit with them, and they will be holding it on behalf of you. You have all the rights. So as a owner of the seed, and whenever you want, you can take back. If somebody wants to commercialize, that they will be doing the commercialization. Whatever profit you are eligible to get, whatever share, 50%, 40%, as per the agreement, you can take from them. This is in Delhi. Almost they have 5,000 certificates have been. I put it, and it is not that. Almost 5,100 certificates have been issued to the farmers who has the rights on their varieties. It is in Delhi, and they are doing very good job. Again, insects, as I told you, if you forget the insects and if you remove the pollinators, in 4 years, we already lost. That's all. And especially all the forests will be lost, all the crops will be lost. In 4 years, we will go. And if you remove the dung rollers from the society, all will die because of disease. Because dung rollers do very good scavenging work. They remove all our dead crops and other things. If they are not there, we are gone, all because of death. So that is the importance of insects. And again, I am not going into the detail, already I have given in that. So in 27 years study, 75% decline, already I have mentioned the recent figures also. And Puerto Rico, they have identified 75% because the conservation which we talk about is coming mostly for the mammals and other things, not about this one. Of course, so many initiatives, there are some NGOs, and even in ICR, we are also going for the conservation agriculture. Of course, it has not caught the eyes of farmers like in other countries. In America, they are using almost like 27 million hectares. Here, what is minimum disturbance to the soil? Don't plow, deep plow, all things we are trying to avoid. And in that process, we are allowing the natural diversity. And again, we don't ask them to use much of agriculture. Whenever you need, you put it because they also have to see some money. So we don't not if it is not, don't give any input like that. We do it. So this is in India we are starting. It has not come up very much, and bee conservation is very important. You can have any crops. Pesticide use reduction itself is a great effect. It will have almost like 70% of bees will be spared if you stop or reduce our pesticide use. Multiple cropping systems always we recommend because they give very good pollen and nectar. And again, in the planting itself, we always say when you have the border crops or that bund crops. Bund crops are very good because they give very good pollen for the insects, especially for the pollinators, and also they pollinate. So that is, they act as a shelter and refuge. Then again, one topic which we have is I have working on biological control. In that, one topic is the conservation biological control. We have classical biological control where we import the natural enemy from other country and release wherever invasives are there. In the augmentative biological control, we produce and release. In the conservation biological control, we don't do any action. We just allow them to remain in the natural habitat. Of course, there are so many things which I have the future slides. It will tell intercropping, mixed cropping. If you have castor, as a top crop, you can manage chickpea, marigold, we can have it. Maize as a reservoir because it gives very good pollen, nectar. And again, these are some of the case studies which already we have done it. So here, this is again an international figure. What they want is that yellow line. So if we are getting the yellow line, that means our conservation efforts are going to pay off. And if it is not, if it is in the gray line, that means it is not paying. So again, what we expect in 2050 is the revival of biodiversity. That we are the world over is praying for that. So this is the same thing which says that this is it's an excellent report. You can read it, Living Planet Report 2022. They have given excellent report on that. So we have to share our goal for future and drive against across the governments, business and society. That is very important. And again, we have to see a positive world by 2030. So that means we give a promise that in 2030 we will revive all the diversity, whatever is lost. And again, I am sorry for this. It is not 20, it is 2 degree. I couldn't bring it. That it's a 2 degree, and yes, temperature rise. We have to bring it preferably by 1.5 degree. And I made it somewhere. It is not coming. And our world leaders have already pledged that they will bring out this revival of biodiversity as well as the climate change effect by 2030. And again, the stress is that the leaders should stick together and do for that. And again, already I have mentioned so many programs have been made by the government of India. So this is paying fruits for us. And again, still more speed is necessary. And I always think about the research, what is needed. We have excellent biotechnological tools. We have developed, if you go and Google, you say any transgenic plant, everything is there, right from insects for climate resilient, everything they are telling you. So you can also modify the physiology of plant. You can say, I want to give more of a scent, you can make it. So that kind of transgenic thing is going on. Can we apply the same thing for the animals? To say wherever breeding is not possible, can we have artificial breeding, artificial implement, or IVF and whatever we are doing for the humans, whether it is possible. So cold storage, wherever, those kind of things, I think we need more research on that. Some is there for the reptiles and turtles, but not enough. So say especially plants, we can use the tissue culture, and I told you about 2 trees. Can we bring it back? So that is more research is needed. And of course, when you say research, we need funds also. I know what kind of problems research institutions are facing now. So again, we need funds for research, policy implementation, international networks. And also the NGOs are doing excellent work in the conservation of biodiversity. They should be supported with funds and wherever possible, policy matters and everything. I think we should support with that. And what our society responsibility. So we have to think about the concern for biological forms. So if you say, as I told you about the Ari Kumban, the media gives that human is the topmost, other things are not. No, not like that. They are not alien. We are all work together. We have to live together. That I think everybody has to bring it, and wherever possible, possibly also tell. Because even in my home also, my wife will say, a snake has come. Then I say, we have constructed a house where snake was doing. Now you say snake has come. Don't become panicky. Let it go. So again, the snake catches. So I called once and told them, here is a snake. He said, Kadavala muchkondi manayalli koothkoli sagate. So he didn't say, don't beat, don't. He says, you keep quiet, automatically it will go. So that kind of message to be passed on to the farmers. So elephant has come means it is hard to say that somebody is being killed, but that is very rare. So something like happens in a road accident. So that is very rare, but it is not the regular incidents. So, but the media projects such a regular incidents as if that Ari Komban is a big rowdy like that, you know. So that I think we have to, wherever possible, the community bring it to the message that wild animals or other animals also have to live with us. We have to live with them. So that is more important. Again, my request will be that individually don't try to buy your ivory material, ivory made material, and there will be, I don't know now, earlier we used to get the nails of tigers and they used to put in ornaments, and again they will be selling the tooth of fox, so many things. Deer skin, if you sit on that, God will come to you, God. All these things, I think individually we have to think it about that. So whether we have to sacrifice an animal for these kind of things. So that is individually we have to take a responsibility. And again, wherever possible, you take your children and forests and parks and show them animals, how they live and how we can. They are not villains. How to bring it up? I always say whenever they start a story in any language, regional language, they say the thick, dangerous forest. How a forest is dangerous? Forest is not dangerous. Forest is a forest only like our land. So that way, I think we have to take our family and show them. Animals also there, we have to live with them. And if we don't do all the things, I think we will only show our grandchildren this is the elephant in a museum. This is has one trunk, four legs, one tail, one trunk like this we will be telling. So this is we have to act fast and we have to work collectively and in a community basis. Thank you for giving me an opportunity. I think I have taken much time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now we may take a few questions.
It's a traditional knowledge. So we don't deviate from that rice. They are the real. 60% is. We don't want to venture. Some are poisonous also. We can't say. And some there may be problems in cooking. So those kind of things. That is the reason I always say the millets. Now this year is International Year of Millets. When we were all small, millet is, I am sorry to say, but millets are only meant for people who are not able to having the purchase power to rice. So that was the earlier situation. Now millets, because of that production, it is promoting. It's a kind of promotion. We can also include. So like that, only these are considered to be our food items. So it is being. Suppose if you say in fine morning when say sweet potato is very good and it controls all your sugar, you see how much? No, this is not the value of food. If you say medicinal value, you say that sweet potato is very good for controlling sugar. I'm just making a statement. You just see how much the effect. Suddenly everybody will be doing. So like that only 4% is traditionally we are using. We don't want to go ahead. Of course, we have some institutions they are trying, and mostly one range of this there. It doesn't go beyond. Maybe 4% means it can go to maybe 10%, not beyond that. And again, the problem is some of them are we cannot be able to cultivate. So those kind of problems is there. So it is again agro-specific region, agro-ecological zones. It has to fit into that. Those kind of things will be always the problem. But still, we can work on that. Some crop institutes are working on that, diversifying into crops. So that is the reason the millets have come. We have a separate institute for millets, Indian Institute of Millet Research in Hyderabad. So millet came like that. It is going on.
Excellent presentation discussing about the wildlife and the flora and fauna for this part of the area of the world. This is not the question, it is just my curiosity to know that bringing 8 cheetahs from the Namibia to the India and spreading in the Madhya Pradesh where already the biodiversity existing and keeping an external factor to make it adjustable with the existing ecosystem. Is it not harmful to the other animals? So it may be the endangered or the other biodiversity factor. And this at Kino National Park, it is not the question.
Of course, as I told you, I don't have much knowledge on that, but from the Google and everything, whatever information I have got it's a trail area. Trail. They are doing a trail.
Yes.
Let us give because these kind of things are needed. There may be already I know 3 cheetahs have passed away. But
This is the past away. So it is really a threat to that life.
3 have already passed away. Now they are trying to relocate to some other areas in Madhya Pradesh. So let us have, because we are all scientists, we all probe into that.
Okay.
So unless we do to new things, we will not be able to come out with new things. And our children also will not have any new things. I always tell my daughters that whatever you are enjoying in life is the efforts which we have put 30 years before. So unless the stalwarts in let's say for example the Infosys chairman, if he has not brought Infosys, we should not have seen computer. Wipro, Jim Prajim, if he has not brought in the Wipro, we not it's like that. So let us make a stage.
Yeah, it's the experimental way, it's the right idea, but it's already 3 passed away and 5 is under danger condition.
3 already passed away. And maybe we can and I understand that only 60% survival is expected. From the reports that I have seen, that means only 12 or 10 maybe living and reproducing. One is already pregnant. One is pregnant. One is pregnant. So we will hope for good. So I would suggest anything if it is possible, even the snow leopard, if we can bring it and put it, fine. Maybe there are issues, maybe the quarantine issues, the adaptation issues, everything. But we are all researchers. We should be able to cope with that. Thank you.
Sir, wonderful presentations. You talked on diversified aspects of diversity. Just to supplement your statement, my personal view is when we talk about conservation, most of us think that conservation is something, you place it there and leave it so that it conserve. But considering the things happening around globally, somewhere, human role also plays quite a lot in conservation from the perspective of moving the species or moving those genotypes or germplasm from different places to different place, because it wouldn't have happened on its own. So somewhere this human interference from that perspective of conservation is also equally important. And we have seen quite a bit of success, whether it's in agriculture crop or in case of tree species, where some of the species were not there have been pushed. And a very good example is our own sandalwood, which was hitherto, in a peninsular India, is now more or less it's across the country. So from that perspective, maybe, an emphasis has to be given. As you said, even a snow leopard, we really do not know, if we can really take care of certain basic essentials of what those snow leopard requires from a research perspective and slowly start introducing. Maybe from that perspective, introducing cheetah may not be wrong per se, but it has to be looked from that perspective of, yes, human interference is also a form of conservation. It's a classical way by which we talk about conservation. So from that perspective, I think we should look at. Thank you, sir.
This is an excellent method. Whatever coffee we are having is not ours. Whatever chili we are having is not ours. Most of the crops, I think almost 70% of crops or commodities which we are using is not ours. Either we got it as exchange or it has come through somebody. The coffee, they say one priest brought it in his bag and sown it in the Chikmagalur area. It started growing. Like that, so many introductions also are important. And of course, we should learn about that later only. Coffee, we are happy, but not always. So this kind of lantana. Lantana is only a kind of a garden plant which was brought in by somebody in Calcutta. So that has become a serious issue now. So many weeds. They have become weeds, so many. Parthenium came along with the seeds of our PL480 maize, wheat project. It's a contaminant. So it has become a serious issue. So like that, some are there, some are good. So we have to, human interference is there, it will be there. Sir, Sir, Department of Agriculture or Department of course, coffee doesn't come under Department of Agriculture, it comes in the Department of Commercial Crops. Now, I'm just telling it. So now the talks are going on that coffee also should come to Department of Agriculture. These talks are going on. Of course, this is a policy issue. But what we say is always that insecticides are not the insecticides which we used to use it just to dust something. No. Now each insecticide has a marking. All the labels are there, red label, yellow label, green label. So green label is the one which is having least effect on non-target organisms. Red label is highly dangerous. Means use only if it is recommended. First thing is coffee board has an excellent strength and they give very good advice. So people have to take the advice. Without taking advice, if you see one insect, you need not go on spraying. We have full integrated pest management, which we say, what is the economic threshold level? Means, what is the level at which we anticipate some damage? You take how much amount you are going to spend for insecticide, how much amounts it is going to cost damage. if it is your profit is going to be up, I mean the amount which you are going to spend is more than your damage, don't do it. If it is less than that, do it so that you get some money. So like that we have full package. Unfortunately, farmers don't do it. Almost 50% of or more than 70% of farmers. But if they go there, everything is available now. Everything is WhatsApp. They are very good in WhatsApp also. They can get consultations. So 12 sprays for insecticide. I think mostly they give for the fungus. They have the problem. So coffee doesn't have much of insects. You are from Kurga? Coffee. The coffee doesn't have much insect. So what we say is take help of any agriculture universities are there, AVKs are there, and department people are there, even voluntary people are there. You take the help from them. Unfortunately, the farmers depend on the retailer. What that the retailer will say, no, you mix X, Y, Z spray because he gets commission. That is the reason. Already that organic farming concept has come. Organic farming means no inorganic input, right from fertilizer, pesticide, nothing. But 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 there is one problem in that. Whatever we say, the other side of no other side of any technology we are talking about. The food side we are not talking about. Mobile. What is the purpose of mobile? Yesterday, Dr. Manoj called me, so I came here in the morning when that is a good effect. But our children are going on playing, that is a bad side. So similarly, when we say the crop cultivation, we have both the sides. Without the inorganic inputs, we should not have been able to achieve the green revolution. Our production levels are so low. Now we are confident about our food grain production for the past 4 or 5 years. We have plenty of production, including agriculture, horticulture, everything. Milk, we are the number one in the world. So those kind of things, without any inorganic input, we should not have been possible to do. So what I am trying to say is, as a whole, you don't say you can't give that, don't use anything, have fully organic. That is not at all possible. To give the option for the farmers to use it, and also because organic is good, but there is kind of wherever the damage is less, fine, they will not be. Wherever the damage is more, they will lose the crop. So those kind of period times that they have to take advice from the department. So with that kind of places, they have to use insecticide or pesticide or even the fertilizers. Otherwise, they will not be able to get any yield because farmers are now these entrepreneurs. They are not poor farmers. I used to go to the farmer. No, one cauliflower they sell it for 7 rupees there itself. So they are entrepreneurs. He says, I have put here half an acre, I will get 3 lakh rupees. So those kind of situations, they have to give input. So, but that they have the profit over that. So straight away we can say stop the insecticide or any input and total organic. I think that is not going to work. Instead, you give the consumers an option. This is organically produced. You give instead of 20 rupees, you pay 40 rupees, take it. But unfortunately, our systems are not open. They say it's organic, but there will be insecticide, there will be everything. That also I have come to know about it. I used to say recently, it's our shop, they put tamarind, organic tamarind. You know, tamarind is the least bothered crop. It is not a lot crop, it's a wild crop, wild tree. So just to take it or shell out and put it. Where is the organic in that? And instead of 1 kg 100 rupees, they were telling quarter kg 50 rupees. So that is the way. So organic, wherever option is there, wherever the consumer wants an option, they can supply it, but not to all the way. That is not possible. quite not possible. Especially the country with 140 crore people, it is not at all possible. Again, people used to say, of course, it is, I don't have any data, but people used to blame Sri Lankan economic crisis to organic farming also.
Yes.
Though there are reports. Reported. Yes. Because they are not using any pesticide. Again, Sikkim has declared as organic state, but now I heard they are planning to revert back. So it is not possible. Total 100% area organic is not possible. Maybe whoever want to have, whoever has the money to do it, and then again, the produce they should get very good performance. Then only they can. Because marketing, when you see, we just to have the comparison of 10 rupees and 30 rupees, we don't want to buy. We go for 10 rupees. Even that I have seen, even when one market, one person was sitting and he says, one cabbage he has kept, he said, we are not that is for me, sir.
We also have a participant from our Pinia Center in Kolkata too, field station Kolkata. So anyone, our online participant who want to ask any question? They can unmute and ask the question if anyone.
I don't think I just have one question.
UCN, they have all markers. So it's a big study they do it. It is not randomly they say this is gone like that. They do studies over a period of time, and again they select some species. They are not selecting the whole random. Suppose if I say reptilia, they are not telling all the reptiles. They have studying the reptiles, that only they are telling whether it is going to be extinct or like that. So they have some criteria, it is in their website. They have so many indices they have developed. Based on that only they are giving it. So it is not that all the reptilia is reflected here. From the reptilia or whatever species they have studied, from that they say it is going. So it is a big study there. Of course, they do excellent work and they go on reversing it. Every 6 months they reverse it.
Sir, it was an excellent presentation, and recently you have told that the conservation has two phases. Okay, one side we are losing and we are telling that we have to conserve, but other side is developmental side, that public want development and we can't do anything, we have to lose our biodiversity. So in that way, conserving large tract of wilderness areas, it is very difficult. And we are seeing that right through the national parks, we are planning for mining and road, railways, etc. So in that situation, we have to resort to some micro biodiversity area conservation and try to, at least if not megafauna, at least microfauna can be protected in those areas. For example, our own institute, we are having some small forest area and it is teeming with biodiversity. So any such emphasis or results, research which is going on to subjected to micro biodiversity hotspots?
Of course, I don't have much idea about other things, but in the agriculture system, we always say as conservatory plots. So what we say is, if you are going to cultivate in say 10 hectares, just to keep around say quarter hectare undisturbed. Just keep it. You will get some weeds, some other plants, some thorny plants. Forget about it. What happens is, actually this is the study which already is proved in Gujarat. There was one Dr. Yadav. They have shown that they used to keep almost 0.2 hectare of area undisturbed, just to keep it, allow it to grow. Whatever rainfalls it comes. The natural enemies, biocontrol agents, no parasites, predators, pollinators, all this will be multiplied in here and they will divert to this. So that is proved, that is happening. But farmers usually they don't have that kind of system. You know, what you are telling is the good farmers or educated farmers who can sacrifice, they will be able to do. Not all the people. So same thing, whatever the transgenic problem which we are facing is because of that only. Because if that seed which was brought by Monsanto, they used to give about 100 grams of ordinary variety of seeds, and this is supposed to be thrown along with that, so that when the flowers come and the mating happens, the resistance is not developed for the beating. But unfortunately, farmers will throw the seeds because they want fully monocrop. That is the reason we are facing the same problem. Transgenic crop one was very good, what we call as Bolgard 1. Bolgard 2 was a failure. So that is Bolgard 1 was for the American bollworm, Glycoverpa. Bollworm, Bolgard 2 is for the Eris, that is our pink bollworm, Pectinophora. Failed because farmers, especially the problem is from the farmer side. They themselves agree finally because we didn't do that. So that resistance is broken and again problems. So that farmers, whether they will do it, fine. Even what you say, that is, I also have the same idea. See the Bangalore, when Bangalore started, they used to have kind of regional parks and other things. But because of the population explosion, no, those kind of concepts have gone. Now, if somebody has, that has to be at the community level. You can't make a rule and say it is not going to happen. If your community decides we will have these areas and this stuff, it can work. It will work, especially for the other species, not the mammals, other things. It's a good concept. I think the directory is there. You can start.
Okay. Any question from students? I think with this we can conclude this very interesting session. Even at 1:30 we have a lot of questions because of this so much interesting topic. And so with this, I would like to take this opportunity to express my sincere thanks and gratitude to Dr. Bak.
Useful to come and start the students.
Thank you, sir. So thank you very much, sir, for introducing about various aspects of biodiversity and giving us a range of eye-opening facts, data about biodiversity and its potential impact, and providing various insights. So thank you so much, sir. Special thank you to Dr. Shakti Singh Chauhan, sir, for his encourage and support for conducting this event. Many thanks to all of my colleagues, scientists, technical staff, admin staff, and dear students for your participation, and especially those who has asked so many interesting questions. And also, I'm also thankful to all the online participants also from Pinia campus, from Field Station Kolkata for your participation. And finally, I also like to thank the staff of my Extension Division as well as IT support staff, for their support for this event. So thank you very much, one and all. Have a good day.
Thank you very much. Enjoy the World Conservation Day.